Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Wes, and today I'm going to be taking a look at an article that came out a few days ago, and I've been thinking about this article over and over again because part of it doesn't really make sense to me, and the other part makes a lot of sense because of some new things that I have learned in the last 2-3 months about Subaru and how they like to do things. Now, let's take a look at this article together and we'll talk through it. Drive.com in Australia posted this article where they did an interview with some of the people from Subaru to discuss the two models that they put out at the Japanese mobility show. And if you guys don't remember, I'll link down below my video to it, or the live stream, or whatever you want to see. Or maybe I'm sure you have seen these two vehicles, and that's the EV STI and the gas-powered STI, whatever that combination of parts was. Now, what's interesting about all this is the reception. A lot of people have been asking for a car that does have some sort of STI transmission, TY85, of some upgraded powertrain engine, in this case FA24, possibly a hatch, and a bunch of other things. Now, Subaru gave us something, and I personally think it looks fantastic. Some people have mixed opinions, but these are just concepts. So they decided to ask a couple of questions about what could change in the future in the development of these vehicles, and could we actually even see something like this? Because I know since 2022 we've been asking where is the STI, when is it going to show up, what is it going to look like? Unfortunately, these answers are still up there in the sky, and there's people like to talk about what they want, even on the Subaru side, but there's no real indication of what we're going to get in the real world. Even when news like this comes out, it doesn't really matter because it's usually an executive saying, oh, you know, what would be really nice is this or that. But none of it really makes any difference unless somebody actually makes something. So we're going to look at this article here, and they interviewed product general manager Masaki Kobayashi. And in their words, or at least in his words, the brand is not yet ready to lock in the future of high-performance STI to a single powertrain option, which again is backtracking from, if we go back to look at 2022 when the official killing of the STI, the reason was they weren't going to put a FA24, or in this case a VB chassis STI, because they were waiting to see if they can use some of the electrification technology that they had. Now, who knows what the hell that means? That many months ago or that many years ago, we thought probably hybrid, because a lot of the regular vehicles that Subaru is making is slowly moving into the hybrid. You know, they ended up making the hybrid Forester, which is a great seller, and now we have the hybrid Crosstrek. What if they made a hybrid Ascent, right? What if they made a hybrid Outback with the FA24? Could that possibly transfer over to a WRX? I don't know. But electrification also means maybe an EV of some kind, which, as you also know, Subaru has been dumping a bunch of those. We ended up with the updated Solterra. Now we have the Trailseeker coming out and the Uncharted. All three of these are EVs. Now, of course, they are based off Toyota platforms, but I mean, it's something, I guess. Could that mean the next STI could be full-on EV? Again, we don't know. But coming back to the Japanese mobility show, they showcased what the cars look like from the outside, and there was absolutely zero discussion of what would be on the inside. Though some people can guess. If you have a Trailseeker, which is a large SUV running, you know, over 300 horsepower, allegedly, and doing a 0 to 60 of less than 4 seconds, my goodness, the next STI has to be at least faster than a SUV, I would hope. All that stuff aside, what's really interesting is he continues to say, we want to offer the choice. That's the reason we showcase the two concepts, one as internal combustion and one as battery electric vehicle. And he also says, of course, we are developing battery electric vehicles to achieve carbon neutrality, but on the other side, the customer who chooses the car, the Performance B, which is the gas-powered STI model that you see up here, we want to make this option available to the customer, so that's why we make an ICE version of that car. Now, they don't have to make that car, or at least not the engine, because the engine already exists. If this car, the way it looks right now, comes up in America sometime, let's say 2027 even, let's skip 2026. 2027, they're like, cool, you can buy that. Oh, like gangbusters, I think this thing would sell. especially if it has an STI transmission in it. It's a no-brainer. Whether it comes as a sedan or a hatch, I don't think anybody's going to care as long as it has the engine and the transmission. And that's all great. Now, the interesting part about all of this is I want to go down to this line right here. He says, this is the first time we have shown both these to the public. So maybe we want to know what the customers think, and maybe we get the feedback from the customers, and then we will think about performance versions. That's really interesting because a lot of different outlets have been posting articles about how Subaru's looking for feedback. And it's weird to me why in 2025, after all the stuff that has happened, after COVID, after canceling this, after getting a GR Corolla and all this stuff, Subaru now is like, let me ask the consumers what they want. The reason I said there's two parts to this is A, the performance community feels like Subaru does not listen whatsoever. Now, on the flip side, the rest of the people who purchase Subarus, like your Outback, your Crosstrek, and your Forester owners, they believe Subaru listens to everything that they ask for. And allow me to explain a little bit what that means. Yes, STI is gone. Everybody on the internet is like, blah, blah, blah. This sucks. I'm not going to buy it. Give me 600 horsepower, et cetera, et cetera. Unfortunately, that is always going to be the vocal minority. People on the internet, there's a lot of them, yet people that are not on the internet are even more because these people usually don't sit on the internet and argue. Even though I sit on the internet and make these videos, I don't argue with people on the internet or make 1,000 posts on Reddit about why I hate XYZ or why I like XYZ. That's just the reality of it. There's a lot of people that do, and I've been tagged in some of these conversations where I still don't really want to be a part of it. But on the other side of the consumer index, you have people who do buy Outbacks, Crosstreks, and Foresters. And the example that I can give you is every time Subaru sends a survey to Outback owners give their honest opinion, and then Subaru changes the Outback to fit what people want. Now you look at the 2026 Outback, and at first glance you're like, whoa, this is an SUV, this is not a wagon anymore. Well, that's because people asked for it to be bigger. They wanted a bigger car. They said, hey, I don't like this weird infotainment system you have. Why is the HVAC connected to it? What did Subaru do? They took the HVAC back to be physical buttons. People said, I miss the old X mode button, I miss this button, I miss that button. And now the new Outback is exactly the way people asked for it to be. And yes, it went up in price, but it comes with so much more standard and then some. It's actually the first Subaru vehicle to have a self-driving mode, which people have been asking for an extended period of time. Now with the eyesight system completely rolled out in the entire lineup, which again, I understand many people don't like that, but that's still the vocal minority that doesn't like it. I say all of these things not to get your opinion on whether you hate it or not, but to showcase that to some people, Subaru is listening. Now Subaru is for profit, so the profits really weren't kicking it for the old 35-year-old EJ25 STI, so it kind of went away. Don't know why it didn't come back right away, but I'm still gonna find the answer to that story one day, I promise. But I talk about all this because this article is really interesting about people, Subaru not listening, but it does seem like they are. I'll give you another example. There's a button on the back of a Crosstrek, and some of you Crosstrek owners will know it is actually the pin access, so you can lock your key fob in the car and then open the car by just using the trunk button. Every time Subaru sends out feedback, Crosstrek owners say, leave that in. I find it to be one of the most cumbersome parts of the Crosstrek, and yet the people who own it, they swear by it, apparently. So maybe this is the time where Subaru is going to start listening to the performance community. And I do encourage you on all of these larger videos that you watch, on bigger channels where they have more of a pull with auto manufacturers, make sure you keep saying what you're looking for. Keep saying what you want. Maybe don't make it as unrealistic as 600 horsepower car for $50,000. It's kind of bogus. That's really never going to happen. And Subaru's probably never going to make a 600 horsepower or even a 400 horsepower car. If a new STI comes out, it's probably going to be 300 horsepower or like maybe mid 300s, which honestly I think is fine. So whether it's this video, whether it's another video, whether it's like articles online, I do encourage the vocal minority to keep saying what you are saying, maybe make it a little bit more realistic, but if they're truly listening, which is really interesting because I had mentioned that one of the executives from Subaru of Japan actually came to SubiFest this year, and I believe that's one of the reasons why the family Huckster actually went to Japan for the Japan Mobility Show, which was actually really cool. Maybe they're finally seeing, I don't know why finally now, but how much America or the United States wants some performance Subaru stuff. We're dying for it. So hopefully 2026 brings us a lot more news on the WRX, and 2027 gives us something really nice. But I'm not gonna hold my breath for now. I will wait to see what happens. I'm just like you guys. I don't know everything, but I tend to find out along with you. And hey, if you know something, definitely let me know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and quick reminder, if you're watching this today, where it's posted, I think this is gonna go live tomorrow, Thursday, I'm actually gonna be flying to Florida because this weekend is SubiFest Florida, and it's gonna be incredibly exciting. I actually haven't gotten a chance to talk about VSE's Brattaroo that Travis Pastrana just did in the Aussie Shred Gymkhana, which was so freaking amazing. It was such an amazing video. That car is gonna be at SubiFest and so many other cool things. If you're down there in Florida, make sure to catch me. You can't miss this, and you can't miss this. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.